Good day. Today's column is entitled, Where's Winston? The old story goes that it's hard to remember that you came to drain the swamp when you're up to your belt in alligators. In other words, there are many distractions that interrupt a person's original focus or original task. That situation exists in many places in the world today. It's very hard to focus on change when the world won't stop long enough for you to change gears. For example, the Winnipeg Brady landfill is about to undergo some suggested changes. Well, just about every landfill in Manitoba needs to undergo some changes as greener forms of trash disposal morph into the mantra of reduce, recycle, reuse. Change is hard. It's a lot easier to follow into the same old mode. As we approach Remembrance Day, it would be good to consider the lessons of the Battle of Britain. In that 1940 epic battle, England was outmanned, outgunned, and certainly had less pilots and less planes. But somehow they fought back, desperately and strategically, and turned the tide of World War II in the fall of 1940. There were several factors. For one, England had great leadership, not the least of which was Winston Churchill. They had the truth, or being right, on their side. They were also desperate. They were also smart, in that they kept back some of their pilots and training crew and sent them to Canada to train thousands of aircrew that would be needed later in the war. In a time when it would have been tempting to throw everything they had at the enemy, they held back people and resources and built for the future. So what does this have to do with anything, especially with landfills? Well, albeit minor, we have a trash problem, or a trash war, if you will. First, we need leadership, something that's almost non-existent in Manitoba. We certainly aren't desperate because we do have lots of space to build more landfills. We need to operate in the truth, or on the right side. That's something that's also lacking in Manitoba, especially in government. We could be a lot smarter about it, but so far this hasn't happened. The truth is that we will likely never reduce waste all that much. It's a false hope. A pipe dream. A little place like Manitoba can't legislate against overpackaging. We want our foods heat-sealed, packaged attractively, as well as all their other goods, so forget about reducing the packaging theory. The second thing is that recycling is more myth than reality. There's no market for most products. There never really has been a market for glass. Newsprint and cardboard have so little market value that it doesn't make sense to store them and transport them. The only thing that is really recyclable is aluminum and steel. Wood waste is next to hopeless when it comes to recycling. The given factor is that we need goods, we transport goods, and we consume goods. Thus it has always been, thus it will always be. The alternative to filling up landfills is indeed some sorting and recycling, but the ultimate efficient answer is energy-producing, clean incineration. Landfills are basically counterproductive to recycling and reusing trash. In order to work with stuff, workers have to be inside. There are very few days a year when workers can effectively sort, recycle, and move stuff around without protection from the cold, the heat, and the wind, or the rain, or the snow. So just as the Brits had to build large airport hangars, the waste industry needs buildings. If in fact the waste problem is ever to be solved, the waste industry needs big buildings. The building, for example, at the local Evergreen environmental site is too small and built pretty much entirely wrong. For example, people delivering to the site have to back the trucks and trailers in. That's just plain dumb. Drive-through is the only way to go. Evergreen has almost no sorting area. There needs to be a much longer horizontal conveyor. The storage area is isolated from the diminutive sorting area. In many countries, there are cogeneration energy plants where they gather solar energy, burn gas in electric turbines, and burn waste to power turbines. It's all possible, and the resulting ash can all be contained and mixed with other available waste, such as water treatment plant sludge, to provide material to place in the roadbeds. The key factor is that we are not desperate. Our country, our freedom isn't at stake. So the changes that need to happen to reach the alleged goal of reduce, recycle, reuse may never happen. If we haven't got the leadership to overcome the bigger problems in our society, such as poverty and the lack of clean drinking water, then it's doubtful if we will ever solve the trash issue. It's sad, really, but as long as we keep the majority of people in Winnipeg happy in a mediocre fashion, nothing in Manitoba will change. Where's Winston Churchill when we need him? Thank you.